James 3:14 Eda zelon pikran ekete kai erytheon inte cardia humon me katakaukaste kai pseudeste katates aletheas. Translation: But if you all are having bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. Let's look at a few things here. First off, this word cardia is in the singular, though I translated it as a plural because it's functioning within the context as a distributive singular. It's a singular form of the noun, but it's one of which the entire group, right? A group is being addressed here, second person plural. It's something that each person in the group has. Each person has a heart. It doesn't mean that they're sharing one big heart, but in their hearts, if they have bitter envy and selfish ambition, they should not boast. Right? We're talking about wisdom in this context. If you look at the verse before and you look at the verse following, you'll see the context is true wisdom. What is true wisdom? It's shown in deeds. He's saying if you don't have true wisdom, if you don't have humility that comes from wisdom, don't boast about your false wisdom, right? These are two imperatives that we have here, katakaukaste and pseudeste. Both of them are using the second person plural middle imperative ending. You can see it parsed down here at the bottom, present middle imperative, second person plural. The two lexical forms are katakaukaomai and pseudomai. And you can see how the imperative forms here are negated with may negating the non-indicative mood. Now when I write those out, you'll notice both of those are middle preference verbs. And I'm going to hop over to a scan of Neva Miller's very helpful appendix to the Freiburg Lexicon, where she talks about the use of the middle. And you can see here how she's classifying these different uses of the middle, and one of them is reciprocity. We've talked about this before, just reading it here. Some verbs involve situations where two parties are involved and where the removal of one party would render the verb meaningless and no action possible. And she classifies positive interaction, negative interaction, and then one of the classifications is positive and negative communication. You can see there to lie is one of those verbs. That's where we have pseudomai there. And then another class here is reflexivity, right? And she writes, in reflexive verbs, the verbal concept inheres in the subject and is not deflected away from it. The action turns back or is reflected back on the subject. So there she includes one form of boasting here in kaukaomai, but it's related to the form we have here, to pride oneself in. And she notes that the group of verbs here under the category of reflexivity turn back the action or reflect it back on the subject.